I think it's pretty safe to say that one of the big characters that a lot of people are looking forward to seeing in Star Wars Episode 9 has all to do with the character of Luke Skywalker in this film. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams has big plans for the character of Luke in this film in order to change our view on both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Now, whether or not J.J. is going to be able to accomplish this is a huge question open on the table for discussion. We do know that as we speak right now, Mark Hamill is working very hard on Episode 9 during the final weeks of filming / principal photography for this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Luke's new look / new appearance in the film. Specifically, a description of a young Luke Skywalker described as a sequence in which DeAging technology will be used for Hamill to portray a version of Luke that bridges between what fans saw in the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. Luke sports a brown robe with a hood over his head, while wielding a green ignited lightsaber, illuminating his face green. The cuffs over his wrist are colored white, with Luke wearing the red kyber crystal necklace here around his neck. Another describes Luke without the robe and sporting a Jedi uniform, very similar to Obi-Wan's when he fought Anakin, except all colored black, with brown gloves that also has a hood attached to it. This is a much tighter fit of a uniform for Luke than ever seen before in the sequel trilogy. Luke is described to have no beard and appears far slimmer. It's said that there are plans to de-age Hamill's face and place it onto a younger, slimmer body portrayed by another actor. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that are really making me very excited about this film, and seeing a version of Luke Skywalker that we have never seen before. Now, first things first, a beardless Mark Hamill, a beardless Luke Skywalker in his older years, I think is going to be something truly exciting to see in this movie. You know, when I first saw Luke at the very end of The Force Awakens, at first glance I thought it was a little odd to have him with the beard and kind of cliche to kind of just have him have the beard as a Jedi Master, but then the beard grew on me for the character of Luke. But I always wondered, what would Luke really look like without the beard? Now, that is one of the big plans for Skywalker in Episode 9, is to show us a completely different version of Luke, how we remember him in Return of the Jedi, except just older with a new uniform. And honestly, I like this idea that JJ and Chris Terrio are toying around with right now. Now, the next thing that I do want to go over is the de-aging technology that they will be using on Mark Hamill. Now, this actually, we've been learning about this lightly before in the past, that they will be using the same exact de-aging technology that they used in Ant-Man and, of course, other Marvel movies out there, and will be using that technology, except next generation technology of that, onto Mark Hamill's face, and placing his face onto a younger body, portrayed by another actor, playing the character of Luke Skywalker, but it'll still be Mark Hamill's face, it'll still be dialogue of Mark Hamill, but we will be getting a younger version of Luke that is still older than the Luke that we saw in Return of the Jedi. So this is going to be a very interesting angle to the Star Wars Skywalker saga. Now, as far as everything else goes, the one thing that really does stand out to me is the uniform that's described as being very much like Obi-Wan's when he fought Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar, except all colored black with brown gloves and brown boots, of course. Now, that to me sounds like it really is going towards something very Jedi Master style, where he's not in his maturity. So if we look at Star Wars as a whole, we do know that JJ and Chris Terrio, they're really trying to give us a new version of Luke that's really going to open our eyes and look at both, versions of Luke's as pretty much, both sides, and this one as a bridge between those two sides. So this was the original idea of ObiWan Kenobi for the ObiWan Kenobi movie before it was actually put on hold or canceled. Whatever happened to it was, of course, Ewan McGregor was going to serve as the bridge between Sir Alec Guinness's version and Ewan McGregor's version in Revenge of the Sith. So the plan here is to do exactly just that, with the character of Luke serving as a bridge between the Luke that we see in the flashbacks and in present time in the sequel trilogy, as well as the original trilogy version of Luke. So this is truly going to be a Luke Skywalker that we have never seen before in history. So that's one thing to look forward to for sure in episode 9. Now, the last thing that I really do want to go over is how they're actually going to be using a younger actor to portray the character of Luke. Now, we heard about this slightly before in the past, that they would be using another actor to play Luke. However, they're going to actually be putting Mark Hamill's face on the character. Now, this is most likely for the flashback sequence in which he will be interacting with a young Ben Solo, Han Solo, and General Leia Organa. Now, this is the thing here. How are they going to do this? The thing is, they're going to do this by mixing footage together, meshing footage together as well. And they're also going to have footage of an older Luke Skywalker interacting with the older versions of Han and Leia. So we're going to see basically this whole entire timeline, this, I guess you could say, transition from Luke's younger years after the events of Return of the Jedi to his older years, where he says goodbye to Han and Leia and welcomes Ben to his Jedi training temple. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.